Just after 7 o'clock, coming in Asia. Looks like we're going to go for the full tilt in golf here. We're going to go take out the high. That's been the looming vacuum. And quite a backfill, I must say, today. Did anybody run an array of limits? Holy shit. So here comes the news about the FOMC. Everybody knew rate was going up, but there was a lot of people, I suppose, long into the news, and we sat there. And what was looming, I think, for a lot of people was, are we going to retest? Is it possible? And lo and behold, it retested. The black swan. Kind of delayed news, you know. News comes out. Maybe it was the meeting. What are they going to say about the next thing? But they just washed out every bull on that train. You got to love it. We bought all the way down into that thing. Just kept double clicking. So, finally made it to 33,000. I'm looking for a drift here into the night. Going after this. My exit's going to be right about 75. 25 more pips. Then I think we dump and we come in with very tight limits that are like 25 pips deep. So if you're expecting this kind of shenanigans, which you just had to love it, that people are like, wait a minute, this thing went down and then it went up. The fuck? You know, people are just, dude, that is like the best trade. Now, going after that wick. So I'm going to let this thing play out. Have not moved any stops. Have not moved any take profits. I had 50 pip stops. When it came down here, I loaded up with 50 pip stops. Still holding about 1,700,000. So this pullback, we bought there, bought a lot here. We were going to buy more here, but never happened. This was the trap. You could have got into the trap here and waited to get paid into here. Right? You could still be short from last night's trap. Some guys said they traded that. That is so tradable. There's no Fibonacci. It's just new highs and new lows. It's the lonely fractal. You find the lonely fractal and you're like, oh yeah, when they take this thing out, and they take it out, and Bill Williams can get trapped on that, then bam. Then up. The little 1-2 punch gets them every time. People just don't get the brutality of the market. This backfill here, if you've got a cavern of orders, FOMC comes out, you buy more here, you buy. The news came out here, and it was about just 10 minutes, and all of a sudden, gee, I wonder if there's any stops here. Anybody long? Well, of course they are. Right? They're long because it's going up. Well, we got a little surprise for everybody. It's like, yeah, people are going, okay, now what? And it couldn't get above this. And they're like, people look behind themselves. You know, it's like when you look behind you, you're looking for the cops. Oh, there's kind of a hole left behind. Just like this hole. But this wick is just about filling tickets. Once you go below the round, people are like, oh, you know I want it then. Right? Last time it was down below the round was here. All the people that are willing to buy 10 pips apart for the next 12 hours all the way down. Full tilt auction. Is that not an auction? It's going, gone. Nobody wants it. And you should see that on the 5 minute. It's amazing. Zoom into that. You'll see a whole world in there. I'm sure on the 3 minute chart it just looks fucking amazing. Probably RSI, triple divergence in the bottom of that thing. Can you hold this long position? Can you hold this one? This one? This one is the biggest ticket, right? Because it's the deepest, oldest low. It's deep down and it's deep to the left. Then this is the contention. Can you get above that? So on the 1 hour, the guy that sold here for the ride back to here, then he bought that trap, then he sold there, and then it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? Well, it could pull back, and it did. And the news came out, but huge order imbalance. And just too many people on that train. We know it's going up. We're not retarded. We know they're going to lower interest rates. So fundamentally, it was a great trade. But what about this last? The breakout traders even made money on that. Don't forget, there's people that have sell stops here and buy stops there. Now, granted, if they didn't cash out of something on the way down here, they got trapped and they got raped. If they put a sell stop here and they put protection up here, they're like, they come back to their account and they're, what just happened? I thought this breakout strategy was going to work. Okay, the breakout of this is completely different than the breakout of each 4 hour bar. So to the blind 1 hour bar, to the blind robot that can trade the 1 hour chart, if he trades on confirmation, maybe he's trailing buy stops when it's going down and sell stops when it's going up. So he would have got filled when they rocketed down. They filled all. If you didn't do a cancel replace, you just let them stack up. But we're not doing that. We're moving it up and doubling the ticket. Sell stop, 2 sell stops, cancel replace, move them all up to here. And if you have it scaled out, right, so you'd have to find the proper sizing to do the whole thing. So I'm just going to let this retrace now. Not going to add to it. It's too much work, honestly. Throwing all these tickets in here, no joke. I looked last night and it was like 27,000 tickets I've run just in the euro alone since I opened this account 70 days ago. So, yeah, you could take $2,000 and make it up. I could make this account go up another $2,000 without stressing out the account, I'm sure. So we got $12,000 is what we're looking for tonight. Take the account up to $38,000 and what's left, right? Jobs report. It looks like it's going to keep crushing north into the jobs report, into all that stuff. Because there's no resistance above it here. I just see clear sailing for at least the next 10 pips. I'll be getting out of something here, so we can take some of the pressure off and get the balance to go up finally. You know, a lot of these moves are so micro and so crazy that unless you have those 8 hour pendings there to capture that, you know, you got to keep hitting the 1 hour button because the 1 hour button's less risky, right? So you're either going to hit put a 4 hour buy limit in 10 pips deep, or you're going to put in a 20 pip deep for 8 hours, or say a 30 pip deep for 12 hours and 40 pip deep all day. But that's kind of your scheme because, you know, the 40 pip deep in a millisecond, like in other words, the 40 pip deep would have filled even on the 1 minute chart, right? It's just the idea that you're going to buy lower, longer. That's a better trade. And of course, if you dropped it every 4 hours, you'd have a stack of this one ratio if you're just doing that. But if you write unique triple, pieces that are layered, and you have different versions of that, then, or you just have a big 10K array, some big psycho, kind of like an estimation, but not duplicating any stops. The key is no duplication of stops or take profits, so that, or entry. So it's just about how many can you fit in there Can you nest them so that you have this hot spot and then it cashes out, and that's the scalp built around that? Okay, it gets kind of complicated. So you can put 20K in there like that in a single non-FIFO world, and that would be an excellent strategy, right? Let's face it, that's going to be fucking like gold. As far as set it and forget it all week long, you got some wild matrix of shit there, right? And you don't have to press the button very often. And if they start filling it and you cash out, you're like, oh, you know what? I'll take some money off the table there. It doesn't hurt taking a profit, especially after it's gone down hard for 2 days. You expect at least 1 day retracement. Maybe not. Maybe you just blew up the account. It's totally possible. And of course, changing your tactics is also work. If all of a sudden I went into buy stop, sell stop mode right here on this chart, and I said, oh, you know what? I think I'm just gonna. It could tank, so I'm gonna come in with buy stop, sell stop because it's going so quiet, you know. And if it pops up a little bit, maybe some scalps are built into those, but I wouldn't want to get into a new position here necessarily. I'd probably run the sell limits above. If I wasn't long, I'd be peppering the sell limits above me, 15 pips apart for 8 hours. What's the worst going to happen? They go and they tag it, and they pull it back. And then you have to decide at that point, oh, does that thing look like it's going to come back more? And, you know, it's not bad to make some money just on, you know, not having to pull the trigger when it's up 20 pips, unless you have an alarm. That's another thing to consider. You could have samples of a voice calling out every 20 pips it goes up. And actually calling out the Eurodollar number, so you'd know, oh, we're at 80, you know. Okay, let me take a look. And maybe I sell one at the market, and maybe it's crushing into my limits that I had at 80. And where would you be getting in now? Maybe 25 pips deep for the next 12 hours. But yeah, it looks kind of spooky here, like we're just going to keep crawling up, and just people are going to be selling this, going, holy shit. Can't that thing back off a few pips? And maybe it will back off about 15, but it's one of those. I remember selling into this stuff and thinking, oh, God, I mean, how much further can it go up? For God's sakes, what's going on here? And you'd be surprised. It just keeps going up. Same thing as it's going down, right? Falling through a hole. But this hole goes back so far in this thing. Can't deny the hole. It is deep. But yeah, I'm definitely cashing out here and there. In fact, amazingly, my tickets cash out right into the top of that. So I'm not going to wait for them to crush it above. I'm not going to be that greedy. So, you know, depending on how much work, because I could have put some hedges on here. I can see on the 4-hour chart, yeah, coming into this end here, but then of course a little bit of a trap for the breakout traders there. But yeah, everybody knew this was going to lower the interest rate, and they've been releasing this news to try to calm the market down, because this used to rip a lot further than that. They just wouldn't tell anybody, all of a sudden, boom. So they give you a heads up, and of course this is the backlash that people can consider that to be market manipulation. All it is there's too much sideways action, and you're sitting at this deadly pivot, and what could possibly go wrong? Just like this this one up here, if you had a sell limit here and a sell limit here, when they come wicking into that, you know, a lot of people are going to get out at the last known fractal, which is here. I take that trade off. That's not a bad trade. Then this thing's crashing down. I mean, it's just psychotic, right? And now look at it just drifting up and just torturing people that are selling into that. Or, you know, like you sold here and you're like, oh my God, like I was up like 20 pips, and then they just took it all away from me. So scaling out, even if it's 2, 5, 9 pips at a time, is the way to go, which I've done on this account. Believe it or not, I have pulled the trigger at least 100 times to make 9 and 7 pips. So that's $70. Okay. Click, 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 click. But I'm into it. You know, I like the click. I like the clicking sound of my mouse. Maybe it's not the trading. I like the clicking. So I'm not going to buy any more here, but There's just too much clicking. I'm getting tendonitis. So we're just going to ride this out till we can take out the high of the week. And I think we could climax into since we're making the stampede to the end of the month. This looks like one of those things where we'll climax into the end of the month. There'll be plenty of places to sell for some kind of kickback and plenty of places to buy on some pullback. But yeah, right now it looks like a real stampede into the news coming out tomorrow. And I didn't take a look at gold. I suppose gold's screaming north. It looks like it's about to. So gold's really on the heels of a big... see how it's consolidated here? And this is getting very quiet. And, did they really trap the bears here? Did we really have that kind of setup going? Okay, we're going to follow through the euro here. So I'm looking for another 25 pips. Yeah, look at this thing. What do you make of this? So this is the gold on the weekly, and I think they might have stop hunted some guy back here. I think that was a great place to... see, they never made it back there. Oh, well. It's not like I thought it was... Actually, no, they took out this guy. They took out his stop. See the weekly here? See how they went just like, oh gosh, a couple pennies lower there? So they did take that guy out. Now, that's the place to get in if you can get that price. 1480. But there's a deep discount, I must say. Good Lord. Lordy B. But yeah, that is... Whew, who's trading this gold shit? Jesus Christ. Here's a nice place to buy in limits here and here. Just barely filled on that one. So that's when it goes back the week. And yeah, on the daily, you'd be up on that. I mean, that's an obvious trade. You don't need any ATR. You don't need nothing. Pretty easy. This was the obvious sell, I think. Fade the Williams fractal. Fake breakout. Inverted hammer. Comes back to the breakout point. Of course, it's a nice triple top in time. Perfect triple top. Got our first trend line we can draw on the daily, nice and clean. It doesn't mean you can't break down through it. And seller's probably coming in there. Nice scalp here, though. Damn, buying new lows. Even so, the buy stop guys are filled. The mechanical traders are long right now just from this first kind of breakout. I like this breakout better than trying to trade the breakout up here at the edge of the world. This flat earth entry here, dude. You want to be buying. See, you want to be buying that. Here, you're never going to fill on your sell. That's why you have to settle for sell limit, sell limit, sell limit. Cuts in like a zipper. Bam. And yeah, put a sell stop here, I suppose. Confirmation guys are taking a lot of risks, though. So the contrarians are making more money, I think. Because they're buying here. They're buying this area that's carved out. Just like here, you buy limit, you get filled. Another buy limit, then it rips. People are selling on these. So this one eventually became a winner. Of course, you knew your exit was here when it went crashing up. So if you sell when we were here and it went up here, you sell on limits. You know you got to get out on something here. And tops become bottoms here on the daily, I would say. I guess the bullish view is that this is a shoulder or head shoulder thing, and holy shit, once they can clear out, take out the high of the month, then we're talking. It's going to be pretty brutal. Looks like inflation's coming now, so I can see it at the store for certain. I mean, it's noticeable now. 10%, I'd say. It's going to be something else. Everybody's going to feel rich, but be chasing price. I think we're going to see some sector rotation. Some stuff's going to go on sale. It's going to be nice finally. this thing. My God. Of course, it looks kind of toppy in a way, on the weekly. So the story on gold is that you kind of have to say that this is the big launching pad. And this is the trend trader's entry, and then get a little overshot. And if you're an elitician, this has got to be wave 4 of some degree. It's a triangle. It could also be a bearish channel that people are trading, like in this kind of thing. But for God's sake, when you take out this, maybe into Christmas, you start to go after this, and you end up at, 1650. People are going to be selling at 1650. I mean, now you're approaching the floor. I don't have it here, but it's the floor on the monthlies you're coming into right now. Because this has been to 1900 before. So I'm thinking, if you get your channel going here, you can kind of estimate if it keeps going up, where we will land here. This is the analysis part. I'm going to scrunch down the chart a little bit. Okay. There you go. So, this is the dream of the channel traders here. Utopian nightmare. I'm going to go for the steep. I'm going to say we're touching the bottom of it right now. It's kind of Andrew's pitchfork thing, I suppose. Here, let me beef this up. Let's see. Royal blue. That's not going to work here. Can't you see it? Yeah, I kind of like this super dark blue here. So you can have it any way you want here, but let's just go for the envelope. And we'll hold down the control key. And we'll make 2 of those. And so this way it gives us a little breathing room. No, it's not so precise. So I like the channel envelope. And if you do Andrew's pitchfork, you get 3 of these. Right, so you can see it riding along. This was the crossover point here. And so people are like, you know what? It's going down, so doing this like a miter box. I'm saying this is the cross, this is the pullback. Copy this and drag it. Right, so we're stepping through that. We broke out, it's teetering now. And it looks like it could tank there, but on the other hand, kind of walking up this channel. It's definitely got to take out, it took that trend line out, and so we got to follow through, and we can't walk down that trend line outside of that channel now. But, you could go on forever because there's another steeper line in here that we've already broken, right? So if you're looking at this line, we've already broke pullback. But is that going to be the catalyst to take us down the tubes? I don't know. We don't know, right? So we don't really know how that's going to turn out. And I'm certainly a buyer on gold down here, buying every $5. Nice buy zone. Certainly there'll be people selling up here. I gotta believe it. So if you're going to follow this channel technology, you're going to say, well, I estimate we're going to be here by there. So if I buy here, I should probably get out when we touch the top of that channel. We'd be making new highs. Oof. Maybe up here you get out. And people are selling here for a pullback to this top. Live by the channel, die by the channel here. So this is creeper gear. I could not trade gold. I mean, I guess here it's obvious with these fractals that this is wave 4 of some degree. This is a wedge. There's a big stop hunt. We blast to the middle of the channel. We're also chopping this out. It just so happens that this is really what's driving it. even though I know people like to think that it's coming to their pitchfork. Just because you're urinating doesn't make the sun come up in the morning. Got to remember that. So, and then come back. This is the breakout. Come back to the breakout point, and then people are like, "Oh boy, it could go longer." Yeah, okay. So that doesn't quite make it to the top of your channel. And maybe that. So here's your measured move, right? Your come back, perfect doji, one more price pulse. You're done. That's just drift, city, chop, torture. Torture the trend traders. Look how well contained this is in a $50 range here. This is the perfect world. This is totally fair value. Everybody agrees. Oh, we like it. Well, let's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Then they're like, wait a minute. Just a minute, Shunny. And what it is just caving into this hole. Because it could have caved to the north side, but it spilled out this way. And then when that bottom, this triple bottom becomes a top here, right at the 50. It just kind of like does this slow meltdown. $100 crush. Amazing. Gold's nutty. I mean, I'd be a seller above here. I'd be a buyer below here. There's nothing else you can do about it. I don't think I'd buy it here. I don't think I'd sell it here. I don't like gold. I can't watch this fucking thing. It's too much to look at. What else we got? Let's see that yen came screaming back. Look at this topside sell on this one. Put some sell limits in that. Look at that puppy. That was right when the FOMC. That's your wick from that. Easy sells. Now looks like it's going to go right to hell. Crush back into this hole now. Daily. All right, so were you a seller above here? Were you a seller in this window? 25 pips to make 50. Amazing. Amazing move. So we kind of fill this hole here. The daily, trapping people. People have trend lines. But this looks bloody, like we're just going to go down. Start coming after all this shit. But, putting limits here. And so I'd trade the yen. I'd put a buy limit here, more here. Certainly a ton in there. And then just way more here. It's going to be a great place to buy here. For a bounce to here, high probability 25 pip bounce to here. And then if we take out this and this, high probability 25 pip retracement. Here's the 25 pip sell window, but then one more wackadoodle. So at the same time the euro's getting crushed, this thing's going that way. All right, so go to the euro dollar here. I put some more limits and I want to see if I get filled here. Not really. I'll do it again. I'm going to put this 2 pips deep. So this has been saving me a lot of effort. So there you go. There's 8K for 8 hours. Exposure to a pullback. If we come smashing back here on the 15. So we're just caught up there in the seller's window right now. The scalper's window. They're just not having any. There's not even one pullback on that yet. People just flipping out. Let's go to the 15. Okay, there's a chance for a pullback here. come below that 150 level. So I'm just going to put these in. These last 8 hours, we can afford it. I got $30,000 of free margin at the moment. I unloaded half of the position. I was in about $6,200 of margin when we smashed down from the news. So take a look at this 15-minute chart when we were down here. Here's the big deal price. So if you're going to put an order on the 15, you'd have one here on that wick, here, 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 and here. And then when it ripped back to here, you know, a lot of people got out. Not a lot, but somebody did, I'm telling you. I know I did. And then when you saw it pause here on the 5, you're like, wait a minute. Check out the 5. This is psychotic. The market's just too brutal. It's too mean. Look at this. It's literally not even, there's not even a double bottom. You have to go to the 1 minute chart. You'll be able to see it out here. Okay. A single bottom on the 1 minute chart. So yeah, you'd have to go to the 10-second chart to see divergence. What a move. So when it came back to here, I was like, oh yeah, let's buy some more. Let's buy it. Because you could just see it was, watch the tick chart during this, it was freaking out. You could just see it sucking, retracing so hard from that. It was insane. It was truly insane. In fact, the other broker, so this broker here, I kind of cheated because this broker's slower than my other broker. So I knew we were going down there. So I hurry up and threw limits in front. I also was long with 50 pip stops originally on this thing. So look at the 1 minute chart here. Got a double bottom on the 1. Looks like it could tank at any moment, so I got those limits in for 8 hours to pick up any kind of sell-off. Add a little bit to the position. Try to make it a $12,000 win. So it's kind of tough here at this price. I guess the sellers are in already. So look at this wick top. Right. Scalpers are short off that right now. Looking to get their... right now we're at that point, so they probably want to get out down here. Some type of exit here. They just press this thing right up against the ceiling. I mean, it's just... the markets are just never moving at the pace you'd want it to move. I prefer that this happened last night, but we have to have the news come out and give us some entry window there. Look at that wick on the 1 hour. Brutal. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And the spread was tight all the way through that whole move, actually. The only time the spread was bad was just when the news came out. It was bad here, but it was tight through this whole thing. So that was very enjoyable. So I'm just trying to buy in pullbacks here a little bit. Some psychotic moves in this market, you know. Also, we're coming off of this top here. Sellers coming in there. A lot of sellers above that. Of course, that's my exit for a lot of these tickets. I'll be out of about maybe $600 of margin. I think I just picked up a limit fill here because it came back at least 2 pips, I think. Okay, now it's coming into my limits. All right, we're waiting again. It's 15 minutes before 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't see much resistance up there yet. I guess the only one I do see is this wick here. So we're here right now. We've dipped into the window. We pulled back a little bit. This is definitely going to be major resistance for this market. We see it pop up there. We're just going to automatically get out of something there and just start to unravel this position. And I don't know what's going to happen over there, but wow, you know, the markets are kind of like making a run for the end of the month, I think. That British pound. I think they're going to steamroll this top here. So if you're selling on limits, you kind of have to go with sell here, but sell more here. And then sell way more all next week for the pullback. For the counter trend trades. Counter price moves. Yeah, you got trends, you know. Time frame dependent world of trends. Swiss all the way down into my buy limits here. Another crush. Okay. Comes 8 o'clock. Is there short squeeze still in force here? A 4 hour looks insane. They just pegged that thing in the ceiling. Stuck it to the ceiling. Wow. So, I think once again the waiting game. Yeah. Got 13 minutes before the top of the hour. Let's bring up the navigator. There's Andrew's pitchfork there. Yeah, so people want to do all that pitchfork stuff, but I just want to trade the vertical price, honestly. I would sell up there if I had the time to double click all those tickets. I'd rather get a deeper array than just the singles. I only get, like I said, 30 pips north, you know, so it's not even worth. I'd rather have a rack at 10 on one button that just throws them in. And just know, okay, there you go. I just did these for people that want to just do little low risk trades. All right, because putting a big blanket of tickets up there now, you could do it with this much money in the account, but you know, hey. So we're stalled out at the top here. I don't know how much pullback we're going to get. Anyways, that's the status of the situation. This account, I guess I should let the this OAND account make a couple more bucks here. We're about to cash out of this for some reason. It's a 1K with a 20 pip take profit. That must be a hand place drop, single drop. That's not part of that FIFO rack, I can tell you that. Well, we could do that again. We could go to all the, for all next week, really. Certainly a bizarre way to trade, I must say. Here, you know, we could put the buy limits in, I think. This looks like an appropriate thing. This looks like a candidate to me. Perfect. All week long, we're going to buy in limits here. Come down to the FIFO buy limits. There you go. It's as simple as that. As seen on TV at my infomercial. How to buy a pullback with a master stop. In the United States. And look at this thing coming back to life. They just beat the shit out of this euro to the pound. Oof. I like this buy down here. Damn. I'd buy that at the market if I wasn't in it a little bit. That is just going to be insane retrace. Yeah, euro's going to go. See ya, Brexit. Bye-bye, pound. Boy, did they crush this puppy. People got all bullish when it got above here, and then it's like, wah, wah, wah. They tagged this. They took that out. Oof. People got trapped on that rooftop. How punishing. How brutal. How mean. I think everybody's going to cash out here. I should have bought more of that. Now, interlaced them. This is buying every 10 pips, so this is not really the best fit. We need to have one buys every 5 pips. Okay, we're getting some pullback here. Look at this thing pegged to the ceiling on this chart. Wow. So, I think I put the sell limits in now. There you go. It's all set up for tomorrow's spike up. Jobs report comes up. We'll take something off the table. Then we get to that top ticket there. It's as simple as that. As seen on TV. I can't believe you're telling people. Some guy was all irate about my videos. I can't believe you're telling people to sell up there. What you're doing is unethical. The people are just so pissed off, you have no idea. Yeah, at least I'm not using fucking the one candlestick rule in my girlfriend's dildo. Yeah, don't you understand how this works? You gotta put batteries in it. That EA takes batteries, honey. I'm gonna sell up into that. I'm very defiant. How about this New Zealand CAD? What happened here? It's a good thing I got out of that short, isn't it? Now tell me this wasn't the ultimate. I know the no-nonsense people love this currency, but can you imagine buying this? 25 pip window. Damn, what a great trade. What a great range trade that is. My God. Yeah, it looks like they're going to go hunt this down. I'm selling up into that. Let's do it. Perfect sell candidate. Next problem. This was the trap. Look at that. They trapped these poor guys up here. Oh, it's so sad. I hate when that happens. Yeah, they just punished these guys. Look at that daily trap up there. Oof. A little bit higher. In a 25 pip window up there. Oof, that was nasty. What a crusher. But hell, I mean, you see the people are buying right here. I'm buying all the way down. So let's buy all the way down on that. Put the orders in right now. Yeah, give me all those currency pairs. Where's those 28 pairs now? I'm ready for them. Honey, go get those 28 pairs out of the back room. What do I got? What else we got here? Oh, this one. Yeah, let's buy this again. Almost the same trade, isn't it? Looks like it's going to tank. Let's buy this one again, too. There you go. Nice deep coverage. All week long. Okay, we're about to cash out of that one big winner. Look at $64 on this puppy. Huh. Up $100 on the pound. $125 on the pound right now. Just by throwing orders in like this, like a fucking idiot. Come on, man. Why are people working so hard? You don't understand, man. We got like a Fibonacci. Do you even know how to use Fibonacci? The sellers aren't doing too good on this euro. Okay, we don't even have any euro going here except for this euro versus the pound. Here we go. Last chance for the bears to hold this thing down. It's like a balloon with helium. Come on, guys. Come back and pick me up. I'm waiting for the big banks to come in here. Do a stop hunt. They never do it when you want. 8 hours. Another 8-hour commitment. I see different price better. It's a 4K. That's probably about $20 risk. Just keep doing that button. So the targets on here are very important. I make the top ticket kind of greedy, maybe 20-30 pips. So I'm trying to make it like maybe 15 pips for the second ticket. Get variations here, so I'll make 22 pips. 24 if you didn't have a spread there. Buying 2 pips deep. So really this is gauged for a trend trade, and I put a soft stop in here. Another reason why I'm making more money with less punishment. So it's easy to double click and make this all the same price hard stop. It's harder to make it soft. Okay. It's more work. But it's better, right? Because I have this situation where I don't have any kind of duplication of price, so it's not fragile. It's a smooth equity up and down. So I haven't taken all profits on this account in a long time. I've been just relying on my take profits in this giant account, because if I try to get out now, it's going to take about 5 minutes. But it feels like, oh gosh, really? Like I kind of want to ride this a little bit more up, another 25 pips. And I figure, well, I could pair the size I was in. I could just buy here in pullbacks. Make some money on scalps. This looks like a classic Wild Wednesday bone crusher. News came out and we just could drift up another 20 pips here, or 10. And it'll automatically be getting out. So the scalpers are winning off of this 4-hour wick right now. They're about to break even on this one, and they sold up there. They're definitely up. Right, they're up on that trade. So just like last night when we saw this behavior, I think the problem here is that this is such a deep hole in time that I don't think every top's the same. So last night was different because we hadn't quite, this is the first poke into the bear's den, so to speak. We come in and people pluck that off of that, right? It's a nice one of those moves. Then you have the infamous come after this, crush all the way to that. Very brutal. Quick. And actually it was down here, so it's even more dramatic than that, because we were actually all the way back. It seems unbelievable. It's a 4-hour chart that we actually smashed all the way down to the floor there. Hence, the auction theory is tried and true. We know it exists. And nobody is selling this. It looks like we're going up to 111.60. Fine with me. Okay. I'm not going to buy anymore. It's holding through this. So this is insane. We come below the round. And, we've already taken that out, but then we take that out, zoom. That happens pretty quickly. So in the half hour, you cut through this. Once you take out that high, you just churn up. Now you got the double bottom. Still got space to fill here. Okay, so we're riding that out. We moved our targets up to the 25 and the 70. On my swing account, I got my targets way up here. So that should give us about $38,000 by the time London opens, if we can just keep drifting up into London. And then when London opens, I'm coming in with the 15 pips apart limits for 8 hours, and we still have one more day of trading left, kind of, so to speak. After tomorrow's morning news, you just have a day and a half left. So this is the when the jobs report comes out tomorrow, I imagine we're going to be at some insane price, and the jobs report comes on. When that comes out, we could see a pullback on several things, maybe. And I don't know if that's. I still think the euro is going to smash through the high of the week, though. Or it's going to make it to this 112 level here. And then it'll be done. That'll be an amazing swing trade, and we have made some money there. And then we can just either retire the account or just barely trade it. I'm just going to dick around with maybe go just focus on the pound or something and try to run wider. So you run a 25 pip stop in the pound, because even if the spread gets bad, you're swing trading it. I typically trade the euro because I'm always trading the euro myself, so it's hard for me to look at two things. Plus, I can, like I said, I could cheat here today, and I knew that we were going to tank, so I was able to get like 20 or 30K in because I knew we were going to tank. Heck, about 30 seconds lag. About 30 seconds lag, so even 15 seconds, it seems like insane. Look at one broker, he's 10 pips different than the other broker. You're like, holy shit. And I know which one's the fast one. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Always got to pay attention to that now. That's another way to go, is to open two accounts and trade the same currency and have a swing trade and a scalp and see what makes more money. Plus, you don't have to babysit. Swings, you're going to get a 50 pips deep for a 50 pip retracement, 100 pip retracement. You just don't care. Like I'm proving here on this WAND account. Right, I don't normally swing trade, but so far it's making money, right? I don't normally do this trade for a week, 10 pips apart like that, but I think it looks perfect to me. I'm sorry, that's 20 pips apart, I think. Yeah, maybe 20 pips apart. Whatever, it's not the same price. We unfortunately do have the same target and same stop on this, so I'm not crazy about that script. That's just somebody wanted me to do it. That's not really great. It's not the best. You do a lot better. You could soften the stop up and soften the target, because first in, first out doesn't apply to this. This unique sizing thing. What a bizarre workaround. Okay, so we're looking for another 10 pips, going to 111.65 on the euro now. What's the story with this CAD now? Did anybody buy the plungeola zone that I marked off? Look at that fucking thing. Kidding me? God, anybody, if you got enough money, imagine that you bought like just a 10K down there. And where's your exit going to be? Right here. They overshot the runway. Wow, that thing is just... Oh my God, man. Didn't quite make it. So sell limits here. Buy limits here. I'd put buy limits down here like this. And there's probably some news. I don't know, they had a big announcement today. Look at the retracement. So into the... Look at the slow crush down, and think about the cancel, replace, buy, stop. Look at the compression of that, and then blam, right into the floor and beyond. So below the floor, people are cashing out. Here they made a nice clean 75 pips. So, not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. I only picked up one ticket on that, I think. If that. So I'm going to put buy limits and sell limits. So I'm going to go dual purpose on this one. Not sell limits. Whichever one fills first. I guess we can't hedge, so we'll see what happens on that. Okay, we're going for 111.60 now. It looks like another 4 pips. Squeeze out of this thing. That'll get us up into the 36,000, 35,000. Start peeling off some tickets here. I can see we just got out of something. Just lost $10 of margin there. Yeah, that's a classic. It's 807. Yeah, that's what that's going to do. Looks like the Dow could crush down. So I don't really like trading. Oh, I'm underwater on this one ticket here, I see. Big monster stop on that. I couldn't figure out why that count was hanging up today. I'm just going to take that stupid trade off there. It's bugging the shit out of me. Look at this dumbass. The $3. Really? 30 pips underwater on that. Oh, Jesus, really? Okay, wait. How come I can't close this ticket? Oh, here it is. Oh, the tablet, it's over in the end. Turn the comments off. Yeah, we went down the end here. Yeah, we don't need this trade. I don't even want to see this trade. It's just, I can't look at this shit. Stop it with these other currencies. Okay, so there you go. Let's see this thing go and just crush everybody's, all the bears. Let's go. Let's hunt some bear here. I can barely repaint this. Okay, so that's that. Pound's going, making a run for the border at the same time, too. Same setup. The pound is banging up, knocking on heaven's door here at the same time the euro is. The euro's a little bit ahead. There you go. Alrighty then, that's it. We're riding this thing north.